Hi guys, just Chris again. And today we are canning some chicken stock. So I made this chicken stock yesterday in my Instapot. I don't have a video of that, but I promise the next time I make the stock I will do a video. This is a lovely, rich, easy stock. Actually probably the best one I've made yet in the Instapot. So we're going to use my pressure cooker. It is a Presto pressure cooker that I bought off of Amazon actually. I know a lot of people think these are scary, but they're actually quite simple to use. So I'm going to get to what you need to do to prep to get everything ready, okay? So I like to get all of my jars sterilized ahead of time, including any equipment I might be using, like this funnel, my ladle here, the lids, the scooper to get the jars in and out of the pot. I'm not sure how many jars I'm going to get out of this, but I made these little labels up here, just chicken stock, March 31st, 22, ahead of time. So when everything is completed, I can add those on. I picked these little Bernardin stickers up. I think it's 60 labels in a box for, I don't know, $4.99 or $5.99 on sale at Canadian Tire last year. So I picked up a couple boxes. They've been super handy. They come off very easy once you're done, with whatever you have in your jar. You just soak them for a moment or two and the label slides right off. So this is my little book here for my pressure canner. It's a Presto. Again, this is one of the best purchases I've ever made. A little bit, kind of pricey, a little over $100 I think it was I spent for it, but it's certainly worth it. Has lots of recipes, lots of tips and tricks. If you do use this, I do advise that you follow the instructions to the T, so you don't have any mishaps, and be sure that most people know, but if you don't, you cannot use an Instapot to pressure can anything in a jar. So I would have to be done in this sort of a pressure canner. So anything you're canning for the Instapot, for the pressure canner, I should say, I use it mostly for vegetables, fruits, lots of soups, anything with a meat or cream in it must be pressure cooked. And so as soon as the stock is to a boil, we'll get everything in the jars and into the pressure cooker, and we'll follow up there. Be back in a moment. Okay, so my stock has come to a boil. What you see on the top there is a little bit of fat. I don't always scoop out all the fat. I usually make my stock. I put it in the fridge overnight. Once it's come to room temperature, in the morning I scoop off all the fat. But I do leave a little bit because fat is flavor, so we want to have a little bit in there. But if you choose not to have that and you want to take it all off, you can do that too. So we're going to take this and we're going to start filling our jars. So I'll go here. Now it does say in the pressure cooker to fill the jars to 1 inch from the top, and the reason for that is gives a little bit of room for the pressure when it builds pressure to basically breathe and help the cans so they don't explode or pop or break or whatnot. So this is basically 2 cups of broth, and like I said, it's really delicious. There's a little bit of thyme in there, you'll see, and a little bit of salt and pepper, but not too much. So that's about 1 inch from the top. So if you see here, that's about 1 inch. So I'm going to continue to jar and see how many I get. I have 12 jars ready, but I always do more jars than I think I'm going to need to be safe than sorry. So next we will get it into the pressure cooker and pressure cook away. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've ended up with 10 jars, 2 cup jars or 500 milliliters. So I've dampened the cloth. I like to wipe around each jar lid. What this does is keeps it clean, so we get a perfect seal, and you won't have any spoiled jars. These will last maybe 2 to 3 years once they're pressure cooked on your shelf, but most people will use it before that. I use a lot of chicken stock. So so we want to make sure these are all cleaned. As I said, as my handle says, I'm a messy cook, so yeah, I make spills and splashes, but hey, I'm an everyday person like you, and I just like to find ways to save money and make things that are done with real food, no preservatives, and are happy for your tummy. So we're going to add on some lids here. So I have already sterilized these, so I'm going to put the lid on, just make sure it's centered, and put my finger on the middle. Sorry, there we go. And spin it around. Do it just a gentle tighten. We don't want it too tight because they will loosen a little bit. And then what we're going to do is, once we get them in the pressure cooker, this will give them space to boil and breathe and go from there. So we will get back to you once we get them in the pressure cooker. Thanks. Okay, so I've got the lids on, snugged the jar lids on a little tighter. So I use this little rubber gadget here with the handle to hold the jars. And we're going to take these, and you can hear one popping already from the heat. So we're going to add these in. So since I'm going to put 5 on the bottom and 5 on the top, and go from there. So I've got the first 5 in. You'll notice on the bottom there's kind of like a little tray in there with some holes in it. So I put 5 cans in there, jars in there. And I had a second one that I had to put. The second one did not come with the pressure cooker, but I bought it as an additional, as this way I can do 2 layers. So I will put another 5 jars on top. Okay, so all 10 are in. I'm going to pop the lid on the pressure cooker. You'll see some arrows here that we are going to line up. If you look close here, it says close and open. So we're going to line that arrow right here with the arrow here on the top. So we're going to go back over here, and we're going to turn it counterclockwise to get it on. So we'll get that on and take the next step. Okay, so I've got the lid on here. You can see it's all lined up. It's a bit of a trick to get it on, but once you get it there, it's fine. So we're going to turn this up to quite a high heat. You'll see here on the bottom I have a gas stove. You can do it on glass top or whatever, but gas is always great, my preference, but like I said, it'll work on anything. So what we're going to do is this spout here, we're looking for a steady stream of steam to come out of there. So once that's done, we're going to let the steam exhaust for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to reduce it down and put the little pressure regulator on the top, which will go on top of that. So this here is our pressure regulator. You can see this comes with the Instapot, or sorry, not Instapot, sorry, the pressure cooker. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and we're going to be watching for that steam to come out. So once it does come out, you can see it bubbling just a little bit there. We want that steam to come steady through for 10 minutes, and we'll pop that on. So once it steams, I'll set the timer for 10 minutes and we'll come back. Okay, so it appears we're getting a pretty steady stream of air coming out of there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, there you go, a little bit. So I'm going to put my timer on for 10 minutes here on the stove. So let's get that timer going. Okay, so once that timer's done, we're going to put our pressure gauge on the top, or sorry, the little rocker on the top, and go from there.